All right, it's about time for us to get back to doing these tourney wrap ups. I haven't been real consistent on them lately. Yesterday, on the 5th of October, I went to good old Axis Replay for the +2 on block monthly. As you can kind of sort of see here. Uh, wasn't really a lot of people there because the Fall Classic was happening in North Carolina, so a decent amount of people went up to there. But let's blow through these real quick because it was a low impact weekend, if you will. Mortal Kombat, as you can see, and what won't surprise some people, it didn't happen. I don't know who these two are. I don't know if they were even there, but Mortal Kombat didn't happen. I don't even remember if I saw it on the setup. I think I did see them like put it on a setup, but I don't think I even saw anybody play it. So that's no huge surprise. Guilty Gear. Guilty Gear was kind of interesting. Well, the state of Guilty Gear in the state. I didn't watch any of the tournament at all. Zen Zen winning is no surprise. She's been kind of getting back on the grind because Arc Revel's coming up and she did qualify for Arc Revel, so you got to get it in shape. But I had a long talk with the tank about Guilty Gear. I don't even know if he actually played looking at this record. It'd be kind of amusing if he did, but anyway, he was talking about the state of Guilty Gear in the state and how he kind of views it as there's only like 4 or 5 people that are actually dedicated to the game at this point, but not enough to see any real progress. It's more of formality at this point. That so he feels like he specifically said that they use it as an excuse to get together to get something to eat. And Zenzen had a different outlook on it. She was more considering the fact that the people on the top that you don't really see in tournaments very often, which is herself, Bafojig, and Dot Nova, have been pretty much grinding Zerd since it came out. So since other people have like fluctuated in and out after that or after the release of Zerd, it's kind of hard for people to crack into like the top epsilon of the 3 that have been not only playing but heavily grinding the game, heavily labbing the game since it's been out. So it was kind of interesting to listen to a bit. But yeah, it Guilty Gear didn't even happen on stream. It was just, from what I saw, I got there kind of late, honestly. Somewhere in the middle of Street Fighter. Yeah, somewhere in the middle of Street Fighter, which was like 3:30 ish. But yeah, Guilty Gear. That was the thing that happened. Uh, Dengeki was here because it is one of the main event games for Climax of Night, and the winner of Dengeki, which is not really a surprise that it's Scrot, he won a ticket to Climax of Night. The only thing that's really amusing about this, to my knowledge, is I want to say Scrot didn't really play Dengeki before last month, and he got a crash course from Butterfree on how to play Dengeki. And then he went and got second at CEO Taku, if I remember correctly. And then he just this was free. This was free, but he's done really well with the game in a short amount of time. But it's one of those games where you can probably count the serious players in the nation on like one hand, maybe two. But yeah, that was a thing. Let me skip over Street Fighter. BB Tag. I saw Fame and I saw Lao Ping there, and I saw Arsenal. I saw more for Street Fighter, but I saw Lao Ping and Fame there, so I knew they were playing BB Tag. I didn't see anybody else there. Like I haven't seen Tattoo at a local in who knows how long. Same thing with Bojack, but well, for what I'm getting here is like I saw these two. If there was a tournament, I knew Fame was gonna win it. Lao was gonna get second. That's the end of the topic. No surprise. I actually didn't say anything to Fame at all. I didn't say anything to either one of them, which was my fault. But BB tag happened. Status quo. Dragon Ball. The game that nobody wanted to commentate. Hey, I mean, I I'm not even gonna go into that. I'll save that for another video or something for memes or whatever. Scrot won it. Fame hasn't been keeping up with it. I don't know any of these other people, so Scrot winning makes perfect sense. There was no jazz rap, so who's gonna beat Scrot? That's what I see very often. I don't think this had any play into Climax and Night tickets. Fame's did. I kind of glazed over that. Fame winning BB Tag got him a Climax ticket, but I don't think Dragon Ball got Scrot a second one or like caused anybody else to get one. Moving on. Under Night. Now, my opinion aside, I don't know how surprising it is that Scrot won and Erico got fourth. I know Erico's been playing, just mainly been playing Under Night. The big talk though was this guy right here, Azure Under Night. Apparently, this is some net playing Seth. Well, I'm guessing it's from Georgia since he was here, but some net playing Seth. And first time he comes out to a tournament, and with some pretty decent competition. You know, Scrot, Fame, Erico, Zinzin. That's where I'd stop. Like with you know, some pretty competent people, actually came in, you know, kind of messed some people up, honestly. Everybody had their moment where somewhere in losers finals against Fame, we all look up at the projector and we don't see any characters on the screen. And somebody standing next to me made the comment of, I could have sworn this was Under Night and not Marvel 2. Why are we doing off-screen mix-ups? It was actually a combo, but this Azure Under Night guy, he's probably going to be somebody to look out for in the future. Because, no. So, the way the ticket panned with this, Scrot had already gotten the ticket from Dengeki. This is for Climax. So, Data was not going to give him a second ticket. Azure somehow got a ticket for DreamHack. I've been just reading this in various Discords. He got a ticket for DreamHack. So, they didn't give him a Climax ticket as well. They just gave him a DreamHack ticket. Fame, he got one from somewhere. BB Tech. So the Climax ticket, from what I'm understanding, is going to Erico, which makes sense. Just seeing how that got passed down the chain. All right, next topic. Soul Calibur. And apparently this happened. Apparently there is a 2-man tournament. I saw them sit down and play Calibur. And I did see a nightmare on the windscreen. I just thought they sat and played it for a second for some random reason. But hey, there you go. This is the thing that I've told people for years. The only thing it takes for any game ever to be competitive is at least 2 people that want to prove they're better than one another. And here you go. I imagine that this was not pretty. Next topic. I'm skipping Sam's show. Tekken. So again, a lot of Tekken players were up at in North Carolina. So there was also something at 404, I want to say. So again, another scenario where the community winds up really split and you just have like smaller tournaments everywhere, something that's been said for years. So this turned into a round robin. If you look over here at the win column, you see that first, second, and third place, 96, Boss, and Bates, all got 5 wins. This came down to head-to-heads. And from what I understand, Bates beat Boss Juice 2-1. And because Bates beat Boss Juice, and however else this panned out, I didn't look at all the round robin sheet. Really, I didn't look at any of it. I just heard the story. But because Bates beat Boss Juice, that somehow had it set up to where 96 had more points and a better head-to-head record than Boss Juice. So that's first, second, third. Next topic. What I skip? Let's go with Street Fighter. Because Street Fighter was status quo, but there's a little bit of a interesting point to me. There's some decent interesting points. I've told you status quo. If Terrence or Neon show up, they're more than likely going to win. Terrence showed up, there was no Neon, therefore Terrence won. Do You Want More has come back to Georgia. I think he came back to Georgia, or he came back to tournaments. I want to say he was like up north for a while and he came back. I don't know the entire story. But he obviously was at +2, and he was also at Access for the weekly. And he has been doing really well lately. With everybody else here, I'm not really surprised that he got second, but he's one of those people to where I honestly underestimate how good he is until I see him playing. And then I forget that he's better than I think. Like, I don't think he's a bad player, and I'm not saying this to be facetious because it's on record, right? I don't think he's bad, but he's one of the ones that I honestly have to put in, like, my pool 2 of players. But when I see him, he's like, or when I think about him without seeing him, he generally winds up being like the bottom of 2, top of 3. It would make more sense if I sat down and like wrote this out so people could see it. But this doesn't surprise what I saw. This surprised what I thought beforehand. And it even came down to when he had the losers finals match with Joel. I thought that was going to be a really hard match, virtually not doable for him. But he got him off them. All right. The other interesting tale was this guy right here, Arch Nemesis. And Shadow always pointed out to me that apparently he's been around for a while, and I've just never seen him or heard of him. Somebody that Ace met in a gym, literally. Yeah. And he was actually pretty good. Had some fairly entertaining sets with his Urian. Slightly different taste of Urian. More, what's the word I'm looking for? More systematic than what we're used to around here. Which, those are some pretty interesting points of Street Fighter. Now, for the last bit, the Sam Show. First and foremost, and this is making me laugh looking at it, I just noticed this right before I started this VOD. These results are wrong. Bates won, and Hime Cut got second. So I'm kind of assuming whoever did this just saw data and just slapped it up there. And I wonder if that's going to be fixed, because that goes on a Smash GG record to some degree. But Bates winning was no real shock. None whatsoever. Because he's the number 2 headman in the state. Number 1 was over at North Carolina doing something. There were no VODs, so he can't prove he won it or anything. I still say he just took the medal. But the second and third place, Hime Cut and Ace, that was pretty much the lore point of Sam Show for the weekend, because you have Ace, who has recently come up and is like the big dog of Macon. There's no he is the big dog of Macon, who just had to sit and watch Painbot and Bates come beat him at the Reboot Monthly. and he's been on a mission to beat Bates since then. Well, both of them, but Bates mainly because he played against Bates specifically in losers finals. But to lose to Bates and then a new entity to him, to Hime Cut, just puts another obstacle in his path. It was a really good set. It was not the cleanest of sets. It was not the cleanest of sets of all, but it was really entertaining to watch, and that was easily the highlight of my weekend. The losers finals match for this. And yeah, that I guess in a short 16 minutes or so, that really just wraps up the good old +2 on block. And there wasn't really a whole lot to talk about because there weren't a lot of people there. We were just chilling. I took one picture, but it was only one, and I haven't even put it on the computer for the slideshow because I was like, let's keep it low impact. But yeah, I'm not gonna fluff this out too much more. Thanks for the 16 minutes, and catch you on the next one. Peace.